What is up, everybody? This is Mason at the Next Guy Up podcast. I got Tinsley here. I got Zach here. And I'm just kidding because it's just me today. This is going to be great. Let's see what happens here. We got a full packed episode. The boys are taking PTO, so I'm running one on my own. We did talk about how funny it would be for a punishment for someone to do a solo pod. I did not have to do a punishment, but I'm doing one anyways. So we'll see how this goes. But I appreciate everybody listening, tuning in. We got an action-packed episode. I'm starting right now, just throwing it off. So here we go. What I'm going to start with, I actually had a pretty busy weekend. I did go to the UT game. We played Arkansas, and it was an insane environment. I do want to start out with a couple of fun stories and just throw around everything, and then we'll go through categories, and then we'll wrap it up. So here's what we got planned here for today. To start the whole thing of the UT game, we got there super early. By the way, we've not been since 2018, and so it's been a while. But I tell you what, if you go to a game, the prices are more insane, the traffic is more insane. We left at I believe it was 8 o'clock. We lose an hour, so we get there maybe like 11, almost 11 o'clock. Game doesn't start till 4. So we think we got plenty of time. Everybody's already there. We paid for $50 parking. Yikes. And it was about a 25 minute walk still. So that already started out. Then we get there, and I told the guys, I said, just keep my wallet in your prayers because we're about to walk into the Vol shop. Ended up buying a $41 hat. We go over to, they had a tent, and it was like a discount clearance area, like a tent outside. So we go over there, and the line is like wrapped all the way around. I think it's there. The boys actually brought up, get all the Nike stuff you can. I think had a lot. It was all Nike stuff, and I think they're just trying to get rid of it all. So they had a bunch of stuff on discount. I go ahead and get in line. So we're hanging out in line. I'm not even kidding. We were probably in line for like 30 minutes. I'm getting somewhere with this story, by the way. So just keep listening to me. I know it's, just me, but we're here. So I'm in line, and we start talking to this family, and they're from New Zealand. They're doing a US tour where they flew from New Zealand to Vegas. They spent a day in Vegas, and then they flew all the way to Knoxville, Tennessee to go to a UT game. And so me and my wife were like, oh my gosh, what do you have family here? What made you decide? And they said that in New Zealand, the word got out that the environment for a UT game is so insane that it's a must go, that it's the best environment of any college football game. And we were, first of all, I'm not shocked. And anybody that's been to a UT game, you're not shocked. But just the fact that on the other side of the world, there is a family and there's people that want to go to a UT football game. It's on their list. They had 4 or 5 different cities that they were going to. Nashville after the UT game, and then they were going to Memphis, and then New York, and then I think back home. So the fact that they had on their list to go to a UT game was pretty mind blowing to me, and that was just pretty cool story. So we got to know them. They're really nice people. And that was just awesome. The fact that people around the world know how insane, which the environment lived up to it. I was thinking of this family. I was like, I bet you they're losing their minds because it was so loud in the game. We had a good time. So I hope everybody watched that game. I don't necessarily want to break down all of the game. I have some things I wanted to talk about. Obviously, the refs and the penalties were a whole separate side of the story. But also, I do have a couple little things I wanted to point out. We were at the game, and I don't know if it was just our section. I called it the sleepy section, and I wanted everybody to hear it because we were sitting. Well, so we were not, but our whole section was sitting. And yes, we were those people that were standing in the sitting section. But to be honest, you're at a football game, you're at a UT football game against an SEC opponent. I'm standing during the game. We look around, a good majority of the other sections are standing, we're standing. It was not until the third quarter that we had where it was finally electric, loud environment, insane. And of course, it's close. We're tied. And I was like, where's this been all game? I would love to see, like, people were sitting down. Though it was funny. It was actually like the second quarter, and everybody was sitting down. And there was a fan that got pulled from the stands. Like, security came, and I don't know. He was just kind of making a scene, and people stood up for that. And one of the fans next to us was like, they were also standing with us, and they're like, okay, so you're gonna stand for that, but you're not gonna stand for the game. So it was kind of funny because, and not just that, it was just not as loud until the third quarter. Speaking of the third quarter, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna go ahead and do our categories. Fraud of the week. Fraud of the week is going to be any fan, football fan, in the United States and the world that goes to a football game, NFL, college, high school, I don't care what it is, and you pay for these tickets. Some people hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And then during the third quarter, I'm not even kidding, close game, leaving by the hundreds. The fourth quarter, for people that did not watch the game, we were up by 10, but Arkansas is knocking on the door. They're in the red zone, like 4 or 5 minutes left. People were leaving by the thousands. They score. People were walking out, leaving. They're only down by 3 points. I don't understand. I literally could not, I was trying to not be rude, but I was like, there's a game still going on. And I get it. People have lives after that. We got home super late. But just for you to get a 10-minute head start to get to your car, I don't know everybody's like story, but I could not grasp that understanding of, I literally like was saying out loud, like, even if this game was like a blowout, I would be staying here. Cause like we were there all day. We went through parking. We did the Vol Walk. We did the parade. We did all this stuff, and we got in there early. And you spend all this money on the food and everything, and it's for the experience. And then you're gonna leave in the third quarter, or you're gonna leave in the fourth quarter. Like, I wish the guys were like listening, or I wish they were on the pod with me. Hashtag solo pod, because I wanted their reaction, but they probably definitely agree with me. If anybody disagrees, I would love to have you on the pod literally right now. So I had somebody to talk to, besides myself, but I would love to know the thought process, because these tickets, we actually ended up getting them for a pretty sweet deal, because the people that we knew were not able to go, but the upcharge of like, and I know so many people that I'm like, hey, would you love to go to a game? And they're like, I would love to, but it's just it really has gotten out of control, how expensive everything was. But that's aside the point. I just don't understand why you go through all that work. And like I said, we got home late. It was a long day. I mean, we didn't get home until like 10, like 9:30, 10, whenever I text the guys and said, fun fact, just got home. That was with us gaining an hour back, and we left at like 8 in the morning. And so another take would be, we talked about how much football games we watch. When you go to a game and did what we did, you're not doing the watching the 11 o'clock slate with the quad box, watching the 3 o'clock slate with the quad box, or the 4 boxes. And then you're not watching like 20, 30 games in one day. Like, they were giving me updates, and people were texting me updates, and I was box score watching, but I didn't know what was going on besides what UT game was going on, like what was going on at the game. So that is that's my whole spiel on the whole outlook. I enjoyed it. I don't understand if you're going to be sitting and on your phone during the game, and then you're going to leave early. I'm like, why'd you pay that much money just to do that? Season ticket holders, especially, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars for the whole season. So that's my fraud of the week. So we're kicking it off already. let's go ahead and go to the game of the week. Granted, I was expecting to have the other guys on, and so I was like, oh, they'll probably cover that game, or oh, they'll talk about that game. So I'm going to pick, one that got overlooked or under the radar. So you're probably like, what in the world? You are going to be doing a 20, 30-minute podcast, and we're talking about the Patriots and the Saints. You bet your bippy I am. Patriots at the Saints, Drake May. Wow, 3 touchdowns, zipping around the field. He threw a long ball to Douglas. The Saints are a frisky team. I know they're 1-5, but I mean, they were getting run for their money. Taysom Hill, vulture touchdown from Alvin Kamara. I'm curious to see if he'll be traded soon, but the Patriots ended up getting a win, 25-19. That was my game. Everybody's like, are you kidding me? Game of the week. Once again, thought other people were going to touch on other games, but here we are talking about the Saints. I love it. All right, let's go to surprise of the week. I'm going to go with Jacoby Brissett, 27 of 44, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. I want to talk about something real quick. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s receiving line actually went up after they announced that Kyler Murray was out for this game. That's pretty interesting, right? That the books are like thinking, oh, we might get better quarterback play. And I'm starting to wonder, this was my upset of the week potential. They did only lose. They kept it close and lost 27-31 against the Colts, but definitely was a little bit of a quarterback bump, quarterback boost. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do with, especially, I don't know how long he'll be out, but if Jacoby Brissett plays next week and they actually win, or if, he's playing better, what's going to happen with Kyler? That's a great question for Tens. What do you think, Tens? Yeah, we'll just have to see. I think Kyler Murray's on the hot seat just like Nick Sirianni is. Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat. Thanks, Tens. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Refs suck during that Jags game. Thanks, Tens. And Trevor Lawrence can never do anything wrong. Thanks, Tens. Appreciate it. Gotcha. All right, let's go to player of the week. George Pickens, 9 catches, 168 yards. Yes, I said that right. I'm not just throwing out stats here. He had an insane, look it up. It was probably the play of the week. He jumped over a defender. Highlight reels everywhere, but this is what I wanted to point out. His stats without CeeDee Lamb. When CeeDee Lamb is not on the field, 19 catches, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's crazy. So he's really picked up the pace without CeeDee Lamb there. I'm giving my player of the week to George Pickens. A lot of people are like, wow, this trade is not aging very well. DK Metcalf did have a touchdown today. But, I mean, to be honest, it's, what do they say, a dozen, half, wait, what is it? 2 dozen and half, I don't even know the phrase. But anyways, it's the same to me. They're both freak of natures on the field. Production's a little bit different, but you also have Aaron Rodgers on the other side for the Steelers. But anyways, we're not going to do a comparison story right now. Maybe I could figure out what what I was trying to say with the eggs. Who knows what I'm trying to say? I'm here in the pod by myself, and if you've made it this far, congrats to you. Okay, let's go to. Oh, and I did it all on my own. We already covered fraud of the week, which is every football fan in the entire world that leaves early. Player of the week. Surprise! Wow, this really zips through quick when you don't have everybody else on the pod here. But and surprise of the week was Jacoby Brissett, and game of the week, of course. Who wouldn't be talking about Patriots and the Saints? We do have a double header. If you're listening on Monday when this comes out, we do have a double header for Monday night game. So we're really looking forward to that. It is first game, Bills, Falcons, 6:15 Central Time, Bears, Commanders. That was my game of the week for the last episode, 7:15 Eastern Time. So we're looking forward to that. But once again, appreciate you all listening to this podcast. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything. Have a good night.